Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today will be our final predictions for the college football season. We're going to predict all the conferences, we're going to predict the playoff, national championship, and the winner of every player award that I could think of and see. So we'll go from the start here. We'll start with the players. Why not? The Joe Moore Award will be won by the Georgia Bulldogs. Now, I know this is going to get people really pissed at me already, mostly my own fan base, Michigan people. It's a cursed award at this point. We've won it the last two times and then lost in the first round of the playoffs. So I'm passing the bad luck torch onto the Georgia Bulldogs. Speaking of the Georgia Bulldogs, the John Mackey Award for the best tight end of the nation is going to go to not Brock Bowers. It's going to go to Bryson Nesbit, tight end for the North Carolina Tar Heels. I love this guy. I think he's one of the best guys out there. And I think with Devontae Walker, as of now, being eliminated from, or eligible, not eligible to play, eliminated from eligibility, I guess I was looking to say, he's going to get some more balls, and I think that it's going to make him the number one tight end in the nation. Up next, the Fred Biletnikoff Award. Now, I have Troy Franklin down, the receiver from Oregon, right now winning this award. I think that he's going to benefit from Dante Thornton being gone and a few other guys being gone. He's going to be the true number one guy on that team. I'm going to put Zachary Branch up there as well. I know that Zachariah, excuse me. I know it's a bit of a knee-jerk reaction because I'm recording this on Sunday night after week 0. Listen, that kid was that good in that game that they could make something happen here. I know there's an award for the best freshman standout, but it's going to go to him instead. So I think that will go to him. But I think he could be a finalist for Biletnikoff. But officially, I'm going to say Troy Franklin. Up next, we got the Doak Walker Award, best running back in the nation. Now, I wanted to do Jace McClellan real bad. Everyone knows I'm really high on him. But the other running back I'm super high on, and I think that he's going to get elevated this year because he's the sole running back. Because the Michigan guys split. And Quinshawn, I don't know if he's going to have a good enough season. Will Shipley, running back Clemson. I needed Clemson on here at some point because I'm very high on them this season, and I think that he's going to be able to catch a lot of balls out of the backfield in addition to run. I mean, he was a bell cow, traditional speaking, and it was an absolute workhorse. Everything went through him last year, and I think it's going to stay that way. We've got the Chuck Bednarik Award. This will go to Harold Perkins Jr., the linebacker edge out of LSU. Now, this award is for the best defensive player, and I think that he wins overall. I would do the best position grades. I think he's going to win the Butler's Award, clearly. And the best defensive back one, I think, is going to go to Kalen King or Kool-Aid. Will Johnson, I think, will win it in 2 years, but I think it's going to be one of those two. But I don't really know what that one award is, and I couldn't find it on my list. So, but the Chuck Bednarik Award, best defensive player, Harold Perkins Jr., edge linebacker out of LSU. And that leads to the best player in the country, the Heisman Trophy Award. I've not really changed my tune on this. Michael Penix Jr., Washington. I think you add in the story of him being that really bad quarterback at Indiana for a bad team, that I think it kind of adds in a little extra flavor, which results in him getting the media attention to win it. We had the proof of concept last year with a Pac-12 quarterback winning it. Obviously, USC is a big brand. I think we kind of work our way up to Washington, get a little Big Ten buzz. Hey, look at this program coming to the Big Ten. It's probably, I would argue, the worst of the 4 teams coming. And it's like, look, they just won the Heisman. They're big. They're for real. This is why. And this will kind of help it out. Now, for my conference championship games of the Power 5 conferences, RIP, shout out the Pac-12, moment of silence. Okay, that is going to be Washington beating Oregon. Now, this was before last night as well, because a lot of people have USC in their playoff, and again, they don't have a defense. We saw it last night. They don't have a defense, okay? I know this is not going to work right. We saw it in week 0, I'll just put it that way. And Washington and Oregon are really good teams. I think the third best team could be UCLA, depending on how Dante Moore plays. I think UCLA is pushing more towards 2024, 2025 in terms of competing, because a lot of the quarterbacks are leaving. And then you've got another team like Oregon State. I think it's going to be a potential buzzsaw in that division, but they're going to finish third in this prediction. But Washington is going to beat Oregon, and we don't know about Cam Rising's leg. I think he's going to not play week 1, and if he's still banged up, I can't, pick him. That's just how it is. I think that, again, Utah is very good, but I think Oregon and Washington are damn good, and they could be 11-1, 12-0 each going into this game. SEC, Georgia beats Alabama. Wow, very original, Blake. I understand. LSU starting to get a little bit more love for my liking. Mason Smith being suspended for the first game is a huge loss for the Seminoles. the game against the Seminoles for the Tigers. And they could lose that game, and I think that might bump them down enough where Alabama can go over there and beat them. Looking at that game, it could come down to worse out of conference. We have a three-way tie between, maybe Texas A&M sneaking in there with LSU and Alabama. We could finally see what happens there. I think Georgia, it doesn't move me, anything in the SEC East. I know I just had probably a podcast coming out tomorrow, I believe, where I was on it, and I said they're going to go 11-1 and beat Alabama. I could see it, that being Tennessee. They're not beating Georgia. So Georgia's going to be in the championship game, probably 13-0, 1 seed heading into the playoff. Washington also going to be a 4 seed heading into the playoff. Oklahoma over Texas. I've kind of talked about this one a few times already now. I'm not super back on Texas, but it's hard for them not to be back because their talent is so much higher than everything else, and I think their coaching is getting better. I mean, obviously we haven't necessarily proved that. There's not really a metric to prove it that way, but I think it's getting significantly better. And if you look at Oklahoma's schedule, it's super easy, and I think I could really see them almost tripping themselves into the championship game, and then they just got to win a game. And I think Venables can scheme up against Texas, especially the second time after playing. He's going to have a good game plan ready for him, and I think that Oklahoma tops them, and they'll go to probably the best bowl. I think I could see him being ranked maybe 5 or 6 in the country after this, and kind of get a huge bump up. I have Michigan over Iowa. Now, this is my old prediction. It's officially Michigan over, I want to say Illinois, but I'm going to say Wisconsin. I think Illinois is right there, but I'm going to go Wisconsin. No Iowa because Cade McNamara, ex-Michigan quarterback, is a little banged up. I know the quarterback isn't that big of a deal, but when we're talking about the threshold of winning your division and making potentially a run at Michigan or whoever wins the East, obviously Michigan in my opinion, you're going to need an elite quarterback like him, and you don't want him having a leg injury that's going to lead into potential setbacks going further. So we have that right there, Michigan beating Wisconsin officially in the championship game. And then Michigan will be a 2 seed in the playoff. Well, who would the 3 seed be? That would be Clemson beating Florida State for the second time this season in the ACC championship game. I don't even know where it is. Usually Dr. Pepper. And I think it's, I don't know, I think it was in like Raleigh or something last year. I don't know. But that's what I have right now. I'm so high on Clemson this year. It's scary. I think that they're going to be 13-0 heading into the playoff. And I think Michigan is as well. I think we see 3 undefeated regular season teams, and I think Washington can come up with 1 loss. So I think it could be Georgia 13-0, Michigan 13-0, Clemson 13-0, and then Washington 12-1. That's just my prediction. Again, I could maybe see a 2-team Pac-12 sneak in if the way it works out, because again, I think Oklahoma might have 2 losses, and I think the Pac-12 is going to have a better quality wins and better resume out there. But right now, it's going to be Georgia versus Washington in the Sugar Bowl, and then Michigan versus Clemson in the Rose Bowl. Michigan-Georgia matchup in the national championship game in Houston. And Michigan wins the national championship. I officially said it. I am very confident we get there. Obviously, it's one game. Getting to the playoff, especially confident. I'm confident we get to the national championship game. I will be in Houston. I'm almost sure of it. And I think we could do it. I really do. I think Georgia's a tiny bit worse than last year. Michigan's obviously one of the only teams I would say out there that got better from last year, and everything. They brought everyone back, got way better. Clemson, I think, is right there as well. So Michigan beats Georgia in an all-time classic national championship game. And, that's all I have. Let me know down below your predictions. Who you think, who's your playoff? Get your takes off in the comments so I know what's going on. But, that's all I have for now. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.